Greetings to you all. Our topic for today is looking at the surname Mabunda, whether it's related to Batsonga tribe or Machangana tribe. Those two are not the same thing. Historically, there's no proof of any relation between Machangana and Mabunda's surname, but there is proof of relation between Mabunda and Batsonga. People don't want to read. They get confused because when Mabunda prays himself, there are some Nguni utterances that comes in here and there. So they say that's it, we are Ngunis. That has got nothing to do with being Nguni. It just tells your roots, where you originated from. This is how these things started. The Mabunda, in bracket Mavundza and Machangana, were part of the Mazubuko clan in KwaZulu. They left for Nhlabe area. So, Nhlabe area, underline that, of southern Mozambique, where they adopted Nhlabe sub-dialect of the Dzonga. When Soshangana arrived in Mozambique, they were already Tsonga speaking, which means they've been there long enough to allow for the Nguni dialect to be swallowed by Tsonga. So the phrases remain Nguni phrases, but the language was changed to Tsonga. Tsonga is people of the south, come from Tsonga, and it has got many sub-dialects, one of them being Nhlabe. So you see now, Mabunda have taken this sub-dialect which within Tsonga. And Soshangana was not even there. Then he came later on. So it means then Mabunda, when he came to Mozambique as Mazubuko, more likely Soshangana was not even born. As the story continues, then Kuna, Balui, Mavundza, and Ricordo left for the Transvaal in 1835 after refusing to accompany Soshangana in his pursuit of Zwengindaba. So there have been times when Mabunda worked with Soshangana. And having worked with Soshangana, it doesn't mean he was he accepted to be part of the Shangans. Even if he did accept, then it means he withdrawn because he parted ways with him. The last 4 lines, it says, Soshangana's attempt to pursue them became fruitless and ended up in 1842 in the Battle of Machangana. So they didn't even negotiate with him. They carried on with their moves to the north. That's where you find us. So if you say the story is not told right, why are you in the north? And here it's saying you left for Transvaal. The Mavundza were very strong military-wise at the time and were allocated land by Mujaji in Masanaro, Siapula, and surrounding areas. This was an honorary gift to the Mavundza for their military superiority in the Mujaji territory for protecting the Mujaji kingdom. Now, you got it now. Mavundza went into Mozambique as Mazubuko, never started a fight, but here it shows that they had that power to fight. So they were not using it for useless things. And again, for them having worked with Soshangana, it means then Soshangana have seen something in them. Right. So to be honest, it was like somehow Soshangana was an invader, a hooligan. If you call yourself Machangana, yet you're not. Just know that it's through the acceptance of your grannies to be slaves, and that fear which they had, it is being transferred from one generation to the next. We teach our kids that they are Machangana, not knowing where these things come from. Now, carrying on with Mavundza, here is one of Mavundza heroes, Kambani, defeated many Nguni invaders. As explained, Ngunis were invaders, those in a company of Soshangana. So they had that habit. He defeated many of them. So if he was part of Machangana, it means he's Nguni. And now why fight Ngunis? Why didn't you go and stay with Ngunis? Instead, he stayed with Balobedi. And he was given a warm welcome because he was protecting them. He was protecting the queen. He played a significant role in history, not destruction like the one you see by Soshangan. And he was later honored with a town named after him, the place currently known as Kapani in Kilobedi for Kambani. So they translated his name to something they understand better, which is Kapani, and named the town after him, that Mavundza hero. So there's another evidence that his history is true, because we all know Kambani. Kapani, you can go to Kapani, and it is documented how the name originated. Looking at this in another angle, you've got a chart there. Right on your right, you're gonna see that's where Soshangana is. And you look on your left, that's where Mavundza is. Now, there is no link between the two. So it started like that. And it's still carrying on like that. Mavundza was a Nguni. That's why we've got Nguni iteracies in our praises, and which you move away from it and then adopted the Hlabe dialect, which is under Xitsonga. Then it became Mutsonga. Any tribe, it can be traced back to another nation. We all come from one, we know that. But at the front end, Mavundza have done separation with the Ngunis on 2 occasions when he left KZN for Mozambique, and he teamed up with Soshangane. But he broke the ties and then left for Transvaal. So now I think is someone can choose to be called as Mavundza, to be called Machangana. It is a choice, but the history doesn't tell us that. Yeah, this history. And you have to come up on your own. It's useless to go and say, no, the history was written by whites, it's a false history, but all this evidence is before you. Why are you in Transvaal? And this document is saying that, is telling you how you went in Transvaal. Why didn't you go with Soshangane and go to Mpumalanga where you is? So let's live with the truth. If you want to be Nguni, I think that's better. Then you have to go back and say, I'm Nguni, not because of Soshangane, because I originally come there as Mazubuko. Now I'm going to my great ancestors. But then there, you had no relation with Soshangane. So you can't be Machangana as Mavundza. The least you can be, maybe you can be a Nguni. Not least, but saying opposed to be Machangana. You can rather be a Zulu too, if you want to go back to that. That's a lesson now. You can welcome to bring your own documents. We put it before the table, and then we see what other people say. But there is no such thing that Soshangana try to unite people. You will cause chaos because they are still. If you united, why are the wronger tribes still on their own, and the Bacha are still on their own? And even in South Africa, Changan is not an official language. Because why? He is the cause. He adopted Zulu himself. And he say, now you want to govern Watsonga. How does that work? Thank you and goodbye.